Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another OCC podcast. I am your host, David Jansen, and today joining us is Brian Parliament, the Through the Fingers podcast host. How's it going, buddy?
Good, really good. Good
Thank
day.
you so much for coming on.
Oh yeah, I was looking forward to it for a few days now. I've been like, when am I coming on, man?
Yeah, that's awesome. I am extremely stoked to have you on. I love tuning in to your guys' podcast and listening to see what you guys all have on and all the amazing guests and guests from all around that you guys always invite on.
Yeah.
What are a couple of your highlights from guests that you've had on, stories, or some of your favorite guests that you've been able to converse with?
You know what? We've had a lot. Some are well known, some aren't so known. I think one of my best well-known ones was Jerry Caderet. That was an important one because I'm a big fan of his, and he really opened up. He was going through some hard times and stuff. And I like the personable. I like the ones that are more personal. You know what I mean? Like, I like going deep, and I like hearing the stories and the feelings and getting the passion and emotions from the guests. You know, and those are the episodes that always stand out. We had Mark Harrison on last week, and a lot of people might not know him because he has been inactive for a while, but he's a legend, right? Like, plays second to Devin for years. You know, he's just a living legend, and that one was special to me too, right? So, yeah, it's the ones that go in depth. You know what I mean? They're the ones I really enjoy, and I like the bro science too. Like, I love talking theory and techniques, training methods, all that kind of stuff. Because I feel like then the viewing audience learns too, right? They get something out of the podcast. So.
Well, yeah, that's awesome. I think in a podcast, not only should we get to know the people, but get to know what was before they were in exactly what we know, because many times we put on a character and that is what people see regardless of what it is. And many times they don't know the backstory of how that character came to be or whatever. So who is Brian Parliament? Where does he live? What did you do pre-arm wrestling?
Well, I'll tell you, I live in Calgary, Alberta. My club is Red Deer, Alberta. It's Matt Mask and Sean Crowther and a whole bunch of my friends. Caleb, I can give the whole list if I could. Nah, I'm not going to waste that much time. But yeah, we got a good team in Red Deer. Basically, Brian's a guy that's been in arm wrestling for 3 years. But I basically dove in when I found it. I found my home. Like, I ended up. I was out of shape. I run my own businesses, but found myself overweight, doing that. It was COVID, doing nothing, watching WAL Game of Arms, and going, wow, you know what? That's awesome. And I just loved. My wife said to me, she goes, Brian, you're strong. You like arm wrestling. Why don't you get into it? I'm like, I could. So I looked up Matt Mask and I wrote him, and I'm like, hey, I'd like to, I want to get good at arm wrestling. And he goes, well, you ain't going to get fucking good unless you practice. So here's my address and come over. So like 2 days later, I went to Matt Mask's, and that was it. I was head deep. I loved it. I got beat by everybody too. Even the little guys, the 150 guys, they were beating me. I couldn't beat anybody. There was one other new guy I could beat. And I think I loved it. I think it humbled me. I think I said, well, these guys can beat me. Imagine when I learn how to pull. Like, I know I'm stronger than everybody that just beat me. So after that, I started training hard, and then always going to practice. And then basically it became my life. I started holding tournaments of my own, doing my own events. Got to hold an East versus West qualifier here in Calgary. That was huge. I did a big international event. Had Uzbekistan, like their actual team, their WAF team came down. Ran a few other events, local events. Basically just got hooked, right? And just polling, organizing, you name it. And then podcast, right? Me and Zach Monroe, basically we started talking, and we're like, well, let's start a podcast. We started it. I was so nervous, just to be on camera. I never even been on camera before. And you know what? I just fell in love with that. And I don't even think about being on camera. I get, well, you watch, right? So
Yep.
I get so, into it and hearing the stories, and then, and I'm opinionated too. So course, I talk a lot. So, but basically, yeah, it's become my life, and I make everything about arm wrestling. Like my whole day is pretty much arm wrestling. Yeah.
And so what do you do as a job that can back the man that you are in arm wrestling as Through Fingers podcast host, and also promoting, putting on these events? Because obviously, as you said, you've had some qualifiers, you've had tournaments and stuff. Obviously, you always need backing, either whether that's sponsorship or if that's coming out of pocket. A lot of people don't realize how there's very little sponsorship in arm wrestling, and the guys that are putting it on aren't getting rich off of it. So how are you able to afford those things?
Well, a lot of it, I mean, we've had sponsors. I've had some sponsors, and that a lot of it's out of my pocket. You know, I've actually sacrificed my wealth for it, but I think there'll be a trade-off one day. I think, you know, if you put into something and you build something, like Rome wasn't built overnight, right? So, you know, I've invested a lot. A lot of it's just me investing. It is. I spend a lot of my own money on these things. I hardly make money off the events. A lot of times I come up short, but I still love it. I don't care. I just do it, you know. So, I basically, well, I like to barter. So I'm a good salesman. I like to talk, and basically I'll buy things. I'll buy cars. I'll buy whatever, real estate, like mobile homes, whatever. I'll fix them up, sell them. I do a lot of bartering. My whole life, everything I try to touch, I try to make money off of. And basically, I'm self-employed that way, right? So, and I make enough money, you know, at times to allow me to indulge in the things I love. So, and yeah, in a nutshell, that's me. Yeah.
That's awesome. And so then, obviously, for those that don't know, Red Deer to Calgary is a pretty significant drive. You had a couple-hour drive. How often are you doing that trek, and how is the team?
Oh,
How is the team?
Well, I can tell you one thing. I've had a lot going on. My daughter, I got a grandkid coming, so I'm going to be a grandfather for the first time, right? Make me feel old, holy. But I used to go every week or two to Red Deer. Lately, it's been like once a month, and in summer, the last few months have been rough, right? I went to practice on Saturday. I was in Red Deer Saturday. But at the same time, even though I don't get out, I also train in the dungeon. So we got the Deadly Dungeon. And I got some good guys I train with here in Calgary too. So Red Deer will always be my club. Like I started there. That's my roots. My heart is always Red Deer. I'll do anything for Red Deer. But I do train at other clubs. And Matt always says, you know what? Go to all the other clubs. You got to feel as many hands as you can, but don't forget where's home. Right? That's what Matt says. Just remember where home is, and I don't mind. You just go to all the clubs. Like, you know what I mean? So, I mean, ultimately, I even ran my own club here in Calgary for a while, but I still put down, when I went to a tournament, I put Red Deer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm proud to be part of Red Deer, right? So, and you know, I think for anybody, you know, if you have a club that you love and helped you out, you should, even if things go, you know, where you can't go to that club and you're doing, you know what, that's still your home, right? Like that's where you started. So, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with representing the club where it all began, right? That, you know, kind of gave you that fire and passion. So,
I know that's definitely very amazing. I feel that same way. We've started our own club in Tillsonburg here, Tillsonburg, Ontario, and we're like a sister team to London with Crazy George and Rick Barbet and a bunch of those guys. Yeah. So we're with them a lot of the time, and we're a small club. We have a group of guys, but not always is there a lot of guys coming out, and we mix a lot with them, and we're kind of like a branch off of the bigger part of the family of London. So I can definitely feel exactly what you're meaning and stuff.
Yeah. I know Crazy George. He comes. I don't know if he's got a daughter here or something, but he's in Edmonton a lot. So he comes down, and a lot of us go meet up with Crazy George and pull with him a lot. Crazy George is actually a mentor of mine. He doesn't even know it, but I look up to Crazy George huge. When I met him, he was kind of crazy. He's like, "Who's this guy? Did you come here to smash me? screw this guy. And he was being kind of weird because I was so excited to see him when I showed up. And I'm a big, intimidating guy, right? And I just wanted to go and learn from him, right? So once I got on the table with him and he realized I just kind of like was a fan and I just wanted to learn, he spent like an hour and a half with me, just going over my technique and fine tuning it and going, wow, you're really strong. But you know what? You just try to power everyone to the side. You need to redirect. And he was teaching me. And by the time I left, I had a whole new style. Like it was the same move, but refined, right? So, and I got a lot better. I took a lot from that. Pulling with Crazy George, so that was kind of special to me. I got a picture with him, and sometimes I make it my background picture, and yeah, it was special. And then he came to a few events, and he remembered me, so I got to shoot the shit and talk theory and who do you think's gonna win, and so it was good. It was good, but I like him.
Yeah, he's always a great guy to hang out with and arm wrestle, and he holds to that motto of never quitting. And I think a lot of us, that's really been imprinted in us, regardless of if we watch him or if we arm wrestle with him. I know that personally from arm wrestling with him. And he's the kind of guy that even though he's aging, and you can tell he's not that younger Crazy George anymore, but he still has no quit in him.
Yeah, I know. I pulled him. Yeah, I was pinning him, and then when he didn't want me to pin him, I didn't pin him. So
Yeah.
yeah. He stopped.
He's that.
yeah. So
Yeah, he's that guy that's the small guy in practice, but yet he's keeping all the big guys off, not allowing them to pin him unless he really wants to or teach them something.
That's right. Yeah, when he was teaching me, he was letting me, and then all of a sudden, we were pulling more for real. And I mean, I still kind of owned him a little bit, but I couldn't pin him. Right? Yeah. So it was kind of weird. It was a weird feeling not being able to put the finish on somebody. So
yeah. What is your goal as an arm wrestler now? You've been arm wrestling a couple years. Obviously, refining technique. We hear that with so many people always. But what is your goal coming throughout the years? I know you're at Nationals this coming year. Maybe you can tell us a bit of how Nationals went and what your goal is continuing.
Well, Nationals. So my goal was to get a national title. And what we want and what we get are always two different things, right?
Yeah.
But I went to Nationals. I went to Nationals injured. So about 8 weeks before Nationals, we had a practice, and there was a lot of us strong guys. It was like Ali Hamadia, Victor Beloff, this guy Yuri, Deadly Dale, Brad Prinz, just a whole bunch of us were pulling. And I was really strong that day. And I'm just going to say this story because it leads up to Nationals. So, but and I was doing really good. I was strong. The other guys were a little beat up, so I was pretty much dominating the practice. But I let my head swell up a little too much. And Dale, Deadly Dale, is good, like one of my best friends. He got me in his hook and where Daddy likes it. And once he usually gets it there, you can't rip through it, right? Like it's like trying to pin Crazy George, right? Like it's a good lock. But I felt so strong, I said I was going to rip through it. So I went to rip through it, and all of a sudden, pop, right in my elbow, right in here. So I was like, oh no. And I continued the practice. I had no more side pressure, but I could still go backwards. Basically, next day, realized I injured something and had no side pressure. So I spent 8 weeks training and doing, peptides and stuff, trying to get it back. I got it back to, I think I was up to about 90 pounds of side pressure before Nationals, but my back pressure was so strong. So went into Nationals, I felt really strong. I felt actually Josh Bellin, good friend of mine, he backed out of my class because he usually pulls Masters and then as a warm-up, and then he'll pull the Open, right? Because he's a multi-Canadian national champ, Josh Bellin. He's a beast. Mm-hmm. But anyway, he goes, Brian, I didn't pull right Masters. He goes, you're going to win it this year. He goes, kick some ass. And I said, okay, Josh. And I went in there, and I felt so strong. I don't think there was someone stronger than me on the table that day. But I had because I've never been to Nationals, I had a frustrating first match with Solomon Latimer. And I was way stronger. But he's tricky, and I'm just not used to the higher level. I guess I haven't been exposed to that higher level yet. So he was really tricky. He ended up early starting, but he ended up getting the pin on me, even though it was an early start, and I didn't like it. So I was really angry. In my next match, I got up to the table, and it was a guy, Byron Cahoon. He's just a tank. We call him the ginger squash, but he's really strong. And I managed. I've surpassed him lately. I won a super match against him recently, but I had him, and we were setting up. And as we're setting up, Rick. I've said my name. I said my opinion on Rick Pigney, but anyway, Rick Pigney was the ref. My wrist is back like this, and he keeps hitting this bone on my wrist, and I'm like, my wrist is back. And I looked at him. I said, my wrist is back. He goes, go. So then I'm here. So then I'm pissed off. I'm upset. So I ripped Byron back to center, and I got him a little bit to the thing, and I started thinking in my head, well, I don't want to be tired. So I went for the kill shot right away. And as I went in for the kill shot, it was a zipper. It was just, that was my elbow. Done. Just flopped. And I was done. I tore my UCL, and I tore a flexor muscle in half. So that was my nationals. And then I was stuck there 2 days afterwards because I ended up hitching a ride instead of driving because I got talked into it. And basically was out there with my hand all swelled up for a couple of days, and then got back and found out what the injury was and stuff. So now I'm on the mend, and I'm rehabbing, and don't know about surgery because my MRI is not till August 13th. So we'll have to see. But I'm using it now. I'm using it. I can flex it. I'm up to 25 pounds of side pressure now from 2 pounds when I started. So, surgery, no surgery, I'm coming back and stronger. So.
Yeah, well, sometimes getting a surgery or whatever, a little bit of help like that medically can help you get back quicker and stuff. How is your team that you train with for national titles? I know you have Zach on, Dakota's in the chat.
Yep.
Hey, buddy. So I think Zach is national. He has national title. I don't know what it is. That 143?
Yeah, 143. He was right and left. He won the national champ for right and left this year. So
wow, that's awesome.
Zach's amazing. He's an amazing puller. Really, he's just really good, man. Like for his, like I would say in the next 2 to 3 years, like East versus West will be asking him for a match for sure. Like he started around the same time as me. Dakota started, I think, a year before me. But the three of us have all come up together. And Dakota, I mean, he's had great matches. He's made big leaps, and he's come a long way. Like Dakota's always been kind of technical. He's always had a good hand. But I used to think he was lacking in power, but he's been filling that gap lately and getting stronger. So he's been putting in a lot of work. And he's had some big wins over in Montana, too, this year. So, yeah.
It's incredible. Yeah. I see him constantly at like EVW tournaments and stuff like that. So that's awesome.
Yeah. He invests in himself, right? So in this sport, I mean, I tell anybody, you know what? Like, because we have so many killers here. Listen, I think Alberta, like I was talking to Butcher. I don't know if you know Butcher. He's a ref, Patrick Callan. But we were shooting the shit the other, about 2 weeks ago. Time flies. It feels like the other day. But anyway, it was a couple of weeks ago. And he said, Alberta's the powerhouse, just no one knows it. Like, because he refs at Quebec. Quebec's known kind of right now. Quebec, I imagine Quebec's probably the powerhouse right now, and then people would consider Ontario and then Alberta. But I think, you know what, if you started doing Alberta versus Ontario or Quebec, you might find out a totally different story. Because Alberta, we have some killers here, like killers, straight up. So. They got to get out. They got to promote themselves. So, you know what I mean? And Dakota's doing that, right? Like Sean Crowther. He's another one. He beat Don Underwood a few months ago. He beat him in a super match and actually got into that top 20 in North America. So he was doing the same thing. And he's been placing second and third at all these East versus West tournaments too, Sean. So he's been doing really good. So.
Yeah, it's also awesome. I think a lot of people need to really put themselves out there, and it's not just putting themselves out there, and it's like I want to put myself out there too, but it's creating a character behind the name. And a lot of people think, well, a character is then you have to be somebody else than you are. No, you don't have to be somebody else, but sometimes you have to take that character to just a different level to promote yourself or put yourself in the act that is more entertaining.
Yeah. And you gotta let loose sometimes. You gotta let go. That's what you gotta do.
Yeah, and because you watch that in UFC, a lot of the fighters over the years coming up, if you go back years ago and watch a lot of their fights and stuff, they weren't that entertaining. We didn't know their names.
Exactly.
We were like, why is Dana? Why are these guys putting matches on with them? They're like, they suck. And now they're the guys that are all holding the championships and
Sugar
stuff.
Sean
So,
O'Malley. Look at that guy.
yep,
I hated him. I was like, this guy sucks. He had a match against Cheeto Vera, the first match.
yep,
He kicks him in the shin, drops down like a baby. You know what I mean? It was just like,
yeah.
I'm like, who's this bum? But now look, right? You know, like you're right. You know, like they found the characters and they developed them, right? So
Yeah.
and gave him a chance and an opportunity to develop as well.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. I'm so bad with names constantly. I know there's the one guy, my buddy, a huge fan of him, always talks with him. He went on stage the other day and beat somebody else up. Oh, what's his name? He's a UFC fighter. I forget. Anyways, do you watch a lot of strongman?
Yes. I'm very knowledgeable on strongman.
Because I've been watching strongman thing, I think, since 2016 or something. So I've been following a bunch.
I've been since the 80s.
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah. I go back a long. When I was in my 20s, I wanted to be a strongman. When I was in my early 20s, I trained for it for a little bit. So.
And why'd you never end up taking that route?
Family and responsibilities. You know, when I was younger, I had to work, 70, 80 hours a week. And I was a factory worker. So, yeah. So, I mean, back then I didn't have the option, right? I wasn't self-employed and it was tough. You got, when you want to be the best of something, you gotta have the time to put into it, right? It's just
for sure.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite strongman then? If you've been watching, obviously you've seen a lot.
You want recent or all time?
All time.
Bill Kazmaier.
Yeah, he's awesome. He should have won more world titles.
He would have won more than everyone else, but they
kicked him out for, what was it, 2 years, I think, because he just kept winning them.
Yeah, he was too dominant. He was winning, and they want that golf capes or whatever his name is. He's just a big fat fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, really? Bill will kill him, And I'm surprised Bill even came back and made amends with him after that, because that kind of, he could have cemented that, right, where no one would have beat his titles, because he was the most dominant and just raw, like the raw strength of Bill Kazmaier. I'm telling, he's my favorite for sure, by far, and I think he was the greatest one who ever lived, and that's my opinion.
Yeah, especially in the time frame and putting back with all the medicine and everything we had back then, and the implements he was lifting. There wasn't a shitload of technique that he was using. It was so much of it. Like I remember watching, obviously I didn't watch back in the 80s, but watching a lot of it back now. Yeah. So watching some of like his lifts, like the log press. I remember when they brought the log press in, and it was like this. It wasn't like the nice Australian oak that they have now and stuff. It was like slightly lopsided and stuff, and no one else could lift it. And then in the end, he was the only one in the whole comp that was able to lift it and stuff. Just incredible feats of strength that he did and stuff.
He ripped off his hamstring to one competition and still went through and beat everybody. Like he no injury. He just was killing everybody. It was just, he was impressive, man. The most, I think, like there was Marius, I can't even say his last name.
Marius Pudzianowski.
Yes, there you go. I mean, listen, he was good too, but power-wise, not even close. And I really like the static guys. The static guys like Eddie Hall when he won it in 2017. That static power, I loved it. Right, like I love the raw static power guys, like the athletic guys that just make, run around. I'm like, that's not really strong, man. Like it is strong, man. And I respect it. But if I had to pick who the best are, I'm going to go with a static guy. And that's just what I prefer in strong, man.
So if you liked Eddie Hall and winning, he won the 500 kg deadlift 2016, the world title. Yep. In 2017, he won World Strongest Man. What do you think of Thor's lift on Saturday?
It was good. It was a good lift.
That was in competition.
Yep. That one, you know what? I agreed with Eddie. Eddie, he didn't Eddie didn't really go, your dad weighed the plates. And, he was just like poking the bear. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Eddie didn't think he really didn't lift 501. All Eddie's point was that, hey, it wasn't in competition. I had to do it in competition. I had to do it. You did it in your home gym. Like, I've done gym lifts too that might be world records, but they were in my gym. They don't count. Like,
Yeah.
it's a lift in competition. And now that Thor did this, what? Kudos to him. I hope he can forgive Ed, like get along with Eddie afterwards, because they used to be really good friends. They used to sleep at each other's houses and everything. Like, they were good friends, and all because Thor ended up friggin' whatever he did, hitching or whatever he did on that one exercise. He got
Yeah.
it's not Eddie's fault he did that. Double
The
dipping.
shoulder. Yeah, the double dipping that he did in 2017 at the Worlds.
That's right.
And stuff.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't think that's Eddie's fault. Eddie just had a solid competition, and Thor got called on some double dipping, and he took it out on Eddie. And Eddie did nothing wrong. Eddie didn't do nothing to Thor.
Right? And then he was trying to say that Eddie had paid off the ref because him and the ref are buddies and stuff.
Oh, come on. Was it Magnus?
Yeah.
He's from Iceland. Give me a break.
Yeah, he's like one of the best refs in the world,
and one of the best strong. He was a 3 or 4 times strongest man winner too.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Yeah, 3. I think he had 3.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because he was 1 less than Brian.
Yes, and Brian had 4. And Big Z?
Yeah, Big Z is 4 as well.
Yeah, 4. Yeah. And I think Marius had 5, right? Didn't he?
Yes.
4. I thought he was the only one to get 5.
No, Mariusz Pudzianowski has more than anyone else.
Yeah, I think it's 5. Yeah.
Does Bill Kazmaier have 4 as well?
Bill Kazmaier had 3, and then they robbed him.
Okay, so I wasn't sure if he had 3 or 4.
Yeah, he had 3. Bill Kazmaier had 3, but he would have easily had 5 or more, right? So, yeah, for sure. When he came back, he was a shell of himself, right? It was like 3 years later. So, yeah.
What are your thoughts on Mitch Hooper then nowadays?
Mitch Hooper's quitting. He's stepping away. I just heard he announced he's actually walking away from strongman. At first, he was going to take a break and just heal and then try to go for the deadlift record, but then Thor just did it. So ever since Thor's lift, he's been talking about leaving, and he showed up at Ottawa days there and pulled with Devin. So I wouldn't be surprised, because he's really OCD, and he's really like, he did marathons and triathlons and this and that, and you know what I mean, bodybuilding, and then he got into strongman. I think he won a strongest man. He's like, okay, now it's time for something else, and I think he's actually got a spark for arm wrestling. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually goes hard to become it, but he doesn't realize it's not the same. It will take 5 years to build those tendons. It will. You can't just get into arm wrestling and think that, you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to work.
I will say I'm like one of the biggest fans of Mitch Hooper, and if he can do it quicker, if anyone can do it quicker than 5 years, it'd be him.
Yeah, with the help
because he has,
stuff,
because he's done some incredible things over the last couple of years that I didn't think he could. Like, even at the last year's World Deadlift Championships, he didn't come in a incredible shape or whatever, and he was the only one to even break 505 off the floor.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. He did. He got it to his knees almost.
Yeah.
But the problem is cleaning was his weakness anyway. He said he had to work on that, right?
Yeah.
Like an 18-inch deadlift, he'd probably do it no problem, right?
Oh, yeah.
The thing is with Mitch, though, too, you got to look at he was bound to get some serious injuries, though, if he keeps going. He's very awkward. He'll do anything to finish a lift. Did you see that one log lift where he lost his balance? And he was bent backwards and shit. Yeah, and actually he has some injuries now that are actually plaguing him pretty hard. And for him to go like he did and keep going, he is bound to have some severe injuries. And I know Mitch is smart, and he's like, listen, okay, I did it. I got my strongest man, but I know that if I continue at this pace, I will have, it'll affect my longevity. So I think he actually might take another direction, maybe start arm wrestling. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I hope he does. I hope he does some more World's Strongest Man and a couple more competitions, because I think he's on the Rector scale to be the quickest to have the most titles and to be like among the top like 3 of best to ever do it.
He's got like 3 or 4 records right now. In a way, he's got the axle overhead.
Axel, yep,
That's the world record. But
yep.
he's won the most consecutive too. I think he's got, because he won like every event other than 2.
Didn't he win like out of 21
Yeah,
events? He won 16 or something,
more.
yeah.
No, I think it was more. I think it was like
Was it 18? Because
Yeah,
I think he only missed like 3 or something.
yeah.
It was incredible, and like and I know he wasn't with some family issues and stuff. He wasn't that great at this past Worlds,
got a
but
lot
it was
going on.
awesome.
Yeah, he had a divorce going on. He suffers with depression. He suffers with a lot of things, right? So, I mean, he's got a lot on his plate right now. Who knows what Mitch Hooper's going to do when his head gets, right. I follow him so much. I know everything about him, right? Because I follow.
Yeah.
You know the way I am. Well, I'm the same way. Anything I'm passionate about, like strongman, arm wrestling, and you seem very similar. So yeah, I know everything, right? Like I study, I watch for hours. Like I can't help it, right? So.
Yeah, my wife sometimes asks me why I don't like watch other stuff or like get off my phone, just like hang out and stuff. And I'm like, I'm just like a couple more minutes, and so I've ended up taking a break off of Instagram and Facebook for now. At least gonna take off for a year, but I'm on YouTube all the time now. It's like now I'm doing live streams and stuff, and she's like, "Well, it's not much different." And, but yeah,
my wife goes, "You ever stop talking arm wrestling?" Like, geez, I don't want to hear it no more because I'm bad. Like, and my son-in-law, right? So my son-in-law, my wife's fiance, he used to be my training partner. And actually, he's really good. His name's Jared Freeman. He's excellent puller. Like, oh yeah, went to Montana. He cleaned everybody out in Montana, and he's really good. Like, he couldn't go to nationals this year, but he would. I strongly think he would have done very well. But whenever he's around me, that's all we can talk about, though. Arm wrestling, right? Like, we try not to say nothing, but then all of a sudden, it just like, oh yeah, I felt this guy the other day. You know what I mean? It was like, and then next thing you know, we're talking. And my wife's like, whatever. I love it.
that's awesome. Well, for me, a huge thing is this whole collab with Brian Shaw, Strongest Arm on Earth, at the Strongest Man on Earth. I think that's going to be a huge thing. And since we both know a bunch of the strongman competitors, so I think this is personally, I think it's a stoked card, like stock card. It's awesome because a lot of people, I enjoy the purest matches.
Yeah.
But I also enjoy arm wrestling, and I enjoy guys that can make it entertaining. Yeah. I watch strongman, I watch the athletes, and then I enjoy watching like when people have a little bit to say back and forth at each other and stuff. And I personally like watching WWE and stuff. So like there's all sorts of stuff. Like I like watching UFC and stuff. Yeah. And so I enjoy the entertainment of it. And I think
sorry.
Giver?
No, I was going to say you might see an upset or two at the Shaw Classic.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty
sure. So there's a bunch of matches. We'll quickly go through a couple of them, and then we'll probably talk a bit more about the strongman ones because explain to people who they are and stuff that maybe don't know them as well in the arm wrestling world. But Devin Larratt and Alex Kurdecha, they're pulling both right and left. It's confirmed because Vitaly is not coming. Who do you think is going to win?
Well, you know what? It's hard to even think about betting against Devin, right? I think his strategy was if Vitaly came, he was going to pull Vitaly first on the right and then pull Alex on the left. I think now that it's going to be right and left against Alex, I think he's going to be pulling left against Alex first because Devin's left is not his right, and he does get tired and fatigued, and he's going to need everything to win the left-hand match, right? I think he's better off to do that first and then the right, and I think that's what I think I heard him say that, but I'm not sure. But don't quote me. But I'm pretty sure they're going to go left first and then right, because then Devin has a chance to win both matches. I think if Devin goes right first, he's done. Alex will beat him on the left. That's kind of how I feel too, right? So, what do you think about that?
I definitely think he's the favorite both matches. I'm pretty sure, like you said, if Vitaly was coming down, then he was going to pull him first. And then if it was just him going with Alex, then it was going to be to pretty much cement either winner, either way, because of how the little bit of the mishap they had at East vs. West 18.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure now that it is official that they're pulling both arms, it will be left arm first. And he said they went like insanely hard this last weekend. So I don't know how he's doing. I haven't personally pulled him ever, Devin.
No?
I'm a huge
And you're
fan,
in
but
Ontario? Oh, come on.
no.
Oh man, he came out here a couple of years ago, and it was great, man. There was like 100. There was over 100 people at Matt's garage. He pulled us all for 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Turns. Yeah, I'm not lying. He would take 5-minute drink breaks and shit, and then go right back at her. And it was 3.5. And then the next night he'd go to Edmonton Club, and there'd be 80 people there. Then he'd go to the next night after that. He went to Lethbridge Club, and there was 75, 80 people there. Like 3 days in a row. He probably touched at least 400 hands in 3 days. That is like, no one can do that. No one can say they can do that. No one.
Yeah.
Just Devin. Yeah.
Not even a hooker on the street.
Nope. No. There's no way they could pull that many tricks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anyway. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. Next, we have a match that I think's amazing. A lot of people are probably going to complain that it looks like a lot of the WAL days coming back. But I'm a huge fan of that. That's what brought me into arm wrestling. So to me, I got no complaints. Yeah, there's some things that I thought needed to be changed, but I think, like a lot of people have said, everyone's trying to change the rules wherever it is. So stop giving blame to one person.
Yeah,
And
I think the same.
Todd Hutchings versus Dave Chafee.
Yeah, that's a match that's got to happen. Dave's always owned Todd through the history, and I've watched, I've checked it out. But you know what? Dave becoming in lighter. He's lost the weight. He's coming in lighter than ever before. And Todd with his, I got Todd heavily favored to win the match. Even though Dave's always beaten Todd, I don't see Dave beating Todd. I just don't see him beating Todd. Unless he's really recovered, his neck is really good, and he's got back to that old strength and that, you know what I mean, the old Dave. Then Todd might have, then it might go the other way. But right now, from what I've seen leading up to it, like watching both guys, I got Todd heavy favored. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. I don't know. To me, it's kind of a 50-50. I agree. If like Dave Chafee was coming in the shape where he was like stopping Dennis Saplenkoff and guys like that, I don't think it would be even a match.
No,
but with Todd Hutchings, I feel like a lot of people are like, they don't believe that he's that technical. I think he's incredibly technical.
So technical. And people don't realize
with that, with that high pronated side pressure that he has now, he's ripping guys apart. Like, I don't think Irakli deserves another match and stuff. Who cares about the elbow fouls or whatever? Like, you're not going to hold on to Todd no more. He's surpassed like that weight category, and it's awesome to see Dave coming down to 115. If he can heal up a bit and be in there, maybe he'll be in talks for the world title then.
Yeah,
but it's interesting to me to hear that you say heavily favorite Todd.
Well, it's just because I'm so involved and so deep and entrenched with it, right? Like if I was like the casual arm wrestler watching, I would say Dave's always crushed him. Like Dave's going to crush him. But he's changed the last couple of years too, right? Like that Todd role. Like Todd used to, people, if they could disable you know what the biggest, and Dave, I don't see Dave doing it. So Dave doesn't have the ability to go hard inside anymore. So Dave used to. Dave would go hard inside and he would break your pronation with supination and side pressure, right?
Yep.
But Dave doesn't pull like that anymore. And I do not believe that Dave is going to be able, he might get Todd a little this way, but he is not going to get Todd's hand. He's not going to break Todd's pronation. And if Todd if Todd keeps this and his hand can be here, it doesn't matter. It's coming. It's coming. You know what I mean? And I don't see Dave breaking that pronation of Todd. I just don't. Not with his new style. The old days, Dave pulled different. Now I just see it different now. Yeah. I don't know.
I fully agree. If you can't take Todd's pronation, you're not beating him. So
Yeah,
I think that's going to be an awesome match.
I agree.
Next match on the card is the South African but lives in Australia versus Pablo Davidenyev. So Richard Bornman versus Pablo Davidenyev. That's a right arm super heavyweight match.
Well, see, Pablo, he is more known for his left. His left is really good. I mean, I have teammates that have pulled him, right? Like,
Yep.
I got video footage of Sean Crowther pulling him, right? And I almost think that Rickard on the right, see, Rickard on the left is awkward. He's awkward puller, and he's still figuring it out on his left, right? Like a lot of us, like me too.
Yep.
And if it was left-handed, I would beat Pablo 100%. Pablo's a tank, but Rickard he's something on that right. I have the match really close. I think if Pablo can get what he needs in the setup, I think he can be strong enough to get Rickard's hand and beat him. But outside of that, I see Rickard winning too. So I don't know. I got it 50-50 on this one. I really do. On the right hand, I got it 50-50.
Yeah, I have it 50-50 too. I really want Rickard to win, even though I'm a huge fan of Pablo. I've just been watching Rickard since he first came up on the scene, and so I really want him to. I feel like if he wins a couple matches, he'll be solidified to continue at East versus West. I feel like if he loses, he's going to have to really work his way back up, and I feel like Pablo has already solidified his spot there.
After Wagner.
So yeah. So, but I did see Pablo in Afterpull, and I know Afterpull ain't that much, but he was also on the podcast with Ozzy, and I'm pretty sure he said he felt comfortable pulling Artem Morozov. And I know it's Afterpull and everything, and I don't know how much Artem was giving him right-handed, but he was saying that
he's another lefty though.
Yeah, but still, like that to me, that was crazy.
It's true, but I mean, then I can say, if I was to say this, I seen Sean taking Pablo's hand, and as soon as he took Pablo's hand and drove with him to the pad, Pablo took the strap off and was done and walked away. So, and that was on the right hand. So if Sean Crowther, number 20 guy in North America, takes Pablo's hand, you know what I mean? And that was that was an after pull. So that's why, you know what, I won't give that much, right? But I hear what you're saying though, 100%. But I would say I think it's 50-50. I really do. And I like Rickard too. I like his story. I like the fact that he moved to Australia and he beat Lachlan and shocked Ryan Bowen and everybody. And he's South American, not Australian, guys.
Yeah.
Whatever he is, South African.
South African, yeah.
Yeah. So he's not even a true Aussie. So they still don't have any good pullers in Australia. So
yeah, but, no, I think he's really coming up.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. Yeah. No, I think he's really coming up. He's got that story already behind, and he is a character. And I think that's what really sells it, especially to me and stuff. It's that character. I've heard his story from the start. Yeah, really nice. He's humble, but yet confident.
Yes.
And we need more guys like that.
He's a natural too, right? You want to see him succeed, right? You do.
For sure.
Yeah, I agree.
And then we have Brandon Allen versus Brian Shaw.
Well, I'll go into this one. I've been told by a couple guys that have pulled Brandon Allen that I would crush him, right? So, and I know he's been training hard, right? So I don't know, but I think, and I heard about the footage that wasn't shown or whatever happened there. I've been following all that, but I think Brian's jumped leaps in miles. Like he's like Brian learning a little bit is going to be more than the average person learning a little bit with his strengths, his levers, his hand. I think that Brian might get in trouble with Brandon's King's move a little bit, but Brian's also very competitive. He's very smart. He was World's Strongest Man, but he did a lot of strategic stuff during, like, to win World's Strongest Man. Like, he knew what events to go hard on, what he'd always have everything planned out. He would always have a set number. Like he wouldn't, like very smart competitor. And I actually think he's studying Brandon. And he said that he was studying Hermes versus Michael Todd heavily because it was a masterclass. Hermes disabled Michael Monster Todd. And now Brandon Allen does not have that level of King's move. But if he's studying that, though, and breaking it down, I think Brandon's in a lot of trouble. I don't think he's going to have nearly enough power to deal with Brian. But this is just my opinion. He might just come and blow Brian away. I don't know. But I've always seen with Brandon, he lacks in the offensive power. He's more a defensive puller that waits and then tries to bleed you and then come back. That's what I've seen with Brandon Allen. He did it to Larry Wheels, did it to I've seen a few other of his matches, but his offense isn't very impressive at all. His defense is kind of impressive. So, but I think Brian's going to be able to get him to Brandon's B side pretty easy. It's just how does he deal with that King's move? And can Brandon set it in with his pronation fully active too? Because the King's move, you still have to get to your spot in a King's move. If you're losing you're getting turned right around and you don't have access to your pronation, you don't have a King's move. You're just going to get pinned, right? King's moves, open hand top roll is highly dependent on pronation. Keeping
your riser, really keeping your riser intact.
Right. Yes, exactly. You use the two together in coordination, right? So it's interesting, but I got Brian as a heavy favorite.
Yeah, since I don't know their powers, I can't say exactly, but me just looking at them, their attributes, their whole musculature and everything, Brian's got a significantly bigger hand and everything. And if I don't know if he's going to be just overwhelmingly strong, or if Brandon can to some extent set that, just never rush the pin. Because that's one thing that people get desperate when somebody else goes to King's move, to rush the pin. And if you can just try to slowly take the high ground, you can many times still win the match. But as soon as you rush the pin, you compromise your hand, you compromise your own riser, and then you rush it. But then what was very interesting to me as well is seeing when Brian Shaw went down to Texas to train there for a couple days with Devin, he was practicing his flop press as well. And that disables the King's move very much because you're coming down directly on the riser then after they're fully extended. So I think personally he's going to have more than one option to win the match. So I think it's a 60-40, but by no means would I ever count out Brandon Allen.
Yeah. See, it might be a little biased too, because Brandon Allen, my buddy offered him a match and he was supposed to pull down here last year. And I ended up running the event, like helping co-run. It was a strongman event here in Edmonton, or powerlifting event, sorry. And he was supposed to come down and pull Josh Bellin, the big gorilla guy that we got here. And last minute, I don't think he wanted to come get his ass whooped. So he ended up last minute demanding $3,000 more or something. But he ended up kind of almost screwing my buddy over for his event because that was the main card. So, but we came in and we salvaged it, and Josh pulled Rick Heidebrick from Ontario. So it ended up all working out anyway. And that match was amazing. That match was so good. Rick came back and won, but John, that match was really good. You know Rick Heidebrick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that match was awesome. But anyway, didn't mean to go off story. But anyway, that pissed me off. So I'm kind of biased, and I kind of, I guess I can kind of say, it's a little biased on my part. I don't know how good Brandon is, really. I follow him. I've watched him pulling. Very, like I said, a very defensive puller, but I don't think Brian's going to have too many problems with it. I don't.
Sounds good. The next match is obviously probably a highly anticipated match for you, and that is Matt Mask, the Wild Horse, versus Philip Larson.
Here we go. Yeah.
And I know there's people saying now, like they watched Sandris versus Philip Larson the other day, and they're like, oh my gosh, Matt Mask is in so much trouble. And I'm like, you can't compare apples to peaches just because Philip beat Sandris. It's not just a math equation where if we could do that, then we wouldn't have the people in the top 10 that we have. If it was just math equations, strength, like Brian Shaw would be number one if it went by strength and everything.
Yep. You're right.
ability to be strong.
Matt beat Ungerbayev, then lost to Nugo.
Yeah.
And then
so like
beat Irakli. Like
yeah.
That's what I mean. You can't. You're right. Styles do make matches and situate days. Just an off day can happen. Like people talk about Philip Larsen's win against Brad Grundy. Well, Brad Grundy, when he pulled Philip Larsen, he wasn't training for months, and he was on the couch, and he just took the match. He just took it. He was off. Like he was not the Brad Grundy that beat Matt Mask. I can tell you that. 100%.
No, and he literally had said before that he was going to quit arm wrestling, and then due to a miracle that his back healed, and then he came back, started training, and then lost. And also the match between Brad and Matt could have been a lot closer if Matt hadn't taken the left-hand match first.
Yeah.
That day.
You get her. Come on, I'm in a podcast. Go. Come on, go. Sorry, my dog.
No, it's all good.
Okay, honey. Okay, she can sit here if she wants, but I can't get up. The thunderstorm's happening, and my dog is scared of thunder and lightning. So go for a car ride. Go car ride. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Sorry. Yeah, she's a big suck. But anyway, sorry about that.
No worries.
Yeah, we got distracted. I'm good. I can't chew bubble gum and talk at the same time.
Yeah.
But no, exactly same thing, right? Like, so I don't know. Matt's not the same guy he was either. You got to remember when they brought Matt in, like when he started pulling again at East versus West, they kind of fed him to the wolves. Like, you had Morzov and Prudnik.
Hermes and Prudnik.
And yeah, he beat Hermes in the first one, though. The East versus West won. Was it one?
Yep.
Yeah, he beat Hermes. Yeah.
He beat him 2 rounds, and then he lost the match overall, though, right?
Oh, that was the second match. They had 2 matches. The very first match, Matt beat Hermes.
But that was at WAL.
No, it wasn't WAL. You're right. But no, it was outside. Yeah, these versus West one, Hermes ended up beating them. Yes.
I think it was Matt won 1 or 2 rounds, and then Hermes came back and beat him.
Yeah, exactly. The one before that, I don't know which organization, if it was WAL or it was WAL. It was. Yeah, you're right. But anyway, yeah. So he got fed to the wolves, and Matt is lately his training's different. Like we're using 2 hands, we're using bands on him, we're using his strength is much higher these days, and he's explosive. I don't know if Phillips dealt with somebody that explosive before. Like Matt's not going to be it's not just going to be slow. Matt, when he goes, I'm telling you, it's scary. Like it's wham. Maybe I got Matt, and you know what? Even if I wasn't good friends with Matt and he wasn't my teammate, I got Matt anyway, just because Philip, he's an unproven commodity. Yes, he's newer and he's big. He's 6'8", 440 pounds or something. Like he's huge, right? Like he's a giant, and he is really good. I'll give him a lot of credit, but I don't think it's going to be close. Even with 200 pounds on, he's got 200 pounds on Matt, and I think Matt destroys him still. So I'll let you know. Henry and me are good now. So yeah, we made good on the bet. He paid a charitable donation. He didn't want to pay me cash. That was, oh no, I don't want to give you money. But he ended up doing a charitable donation to a site of my choosing. So, and then he sent me a receipt. So we're good. And then he hit me up. He wanted 3-1 odds on Matt. I'm like, I'm not doing 3-1. I'm like, Phillips 400 and something pounds. He got 200 pounds on Matt. I think, and I accepted. We bet again too. This time, if I win, he's paying me though. But so I agreed to 2-1 odds. So if I win, I get $200, and if he wins, he gets $400. So yeah, but it's only because he wanted. I'm a man of my word. I'm like, fine, let's do it. Let's see how this one goes, right? So it would suck if Philip crushes him. Yeah.
I think that if Matt comes in a very good place and he's got the crowd backing him, I think it could be a washout.
Yeah, I think so too.
I seen what Devin did to Philip Larsen before the tournament at King of the Table. What was that, 14 or something?
Yeah.
Philip was good there. He was confident. Matt Math back in the day was cracking Devin's hand. Matt got a hand just as big or bigger in Devon, and on that ready go when he snaps and those wrists come back. You've seen Angerbayev,
Yeah, well,
he's pinned some of the best.
yeah, I agree.
Matt's not always had great days when he's been out there.
Mhm.
I think if Matt can really learn to
Like
know
harness
what it is that puts him in that top bracket
dark shit
and come
Dark
in,
shit. Yeah.
come in and be explosive, I think he could completely wipe out Philip Larson. I don't think Philip's going to be ready for what's coming with the Canadian.
Not if Matt does, Matt always told me, he goes, Brian, you got to go to a dark place, man. You got to think the darkest shit. And I'm like, what, Matt? He's like, I can't tell you. That's how dark it is. I'm like, oh, that dark. And I've done it. And every time I've done it, I've won. I haven't lost a super match. Whenever I've thought of that and done what Matt said, I've always won. So it works. You just got to go right. You got to be like, that guy's got my kid in the fucking basement out back. Like, you got to go like really crazy. And then you'd be amazed what comes out of you. Yeah. And it works. Believe me. It works.
Yeah, I think it's based on the personality and stuff. I definitely think it works. For me, it'd probably work because I'm a little messed up in the head sometimes.
Yeah.
But next match, very interesting one. Personally, I think he's a little bitch slapper. Derek Smith versus Ray Brown. I thought that whole slap fighting thing.
That was so gay. I'm sorry. That was gay balls, guys. That was like, it looked like two Fruit Loops like smacking each other. Like, and I'm not trying to be rude. Like, I'm sorry, I don't offend anybody. But yeah, I'm like, that was. Did you see it? Like, it was just like, oh my god. I
would try to offend them.
Head off. Yeah.
I was like, that's like, I can slap harder than that.
He both did it too, though. I thought Lawler was going to be like, oh, that was a bitch slap. Ready? Wham. But no, he did the same thing. I'm like, did you guys, this must be like, I thought it was set up. I'm like, because you guys weren't even following through. You were coming up and then stopping at the hit. I'm like, no, it's wham as hard as you can and you follow through. You know what I mean? They weren't doing any. I could have knocked both of them out for sure. Yeah, I would take a match. If I knew someone was going to slap me like a pansy, I would take the match in a heartbeat. I would like to slap, but I just don't want to be smacked, right?
Yeah. No, like if you watch the real slap fighting, it's very different than that.
Oh, man, come on.
But yeah, so Ray Brown is Brian Shaw's training partner.
Yes.
He's had a couple really good matches recently, and then it's a right arm super heavyweight match.
Well, I think Saray, I don't know. I think Saray loses. I think Derek does beat him. So, and I'll tell you why. So Saray was over in Idaho recently, and well, that was a left-handed, but even on his right, I mean, it wasn't that. Yeah, I think he won, but it wasn't that impressive. Anyway, what's his name? Nicholas Mode crushed him on the left, and that was like a month and a half ago. And Nicholas Mode hasn't cracked. I don't think he's cracked top 20 yet in North America. And then someone pinned him on the right as well. And I know none of those guys there would get a pin on Derek Smith. Like, I know it. So, but Saray's got a really good King's move.
That's what I was going to say.
And Derek gets frustrated and flustered easy. And if things aren't going his way, and yeah, you know what? I do. Actually, I might be leaning more 55-45 on this one. I got Derek Smith to win because he should. He's got the lever. He's got the experience. He's got, you know what I mean? He's had the matches. But I start thinking, now I'm starting to think like, and then that slap fight, Derek, that just ruined it. Like, that's another thing. It's like playing in the back of my mind. And I'm like, I don't know. A guy slaps like that. I don't know if he's going to win an arm wrestling match.
Yeah, that's kind of the same for me.
Like, and thought process. Yeah.
And what like a little bit of just fun and games, whatever. But he was on Martin Salisi's YouTube channel recently, training with Martins.
Yeah, Martin, I like him though.
Yeah, Martin's awesome.
Yes.
But like what was funny to me was Derek Smith was on there and he's like, so I believe I'm one of the guys in North America that can break down arm wrestling the best out of all clubs and stuff. Like, I'm the one that can. And then how he goes on to explain.
No.
And then he goes on to explain stuff. And I'm like, I'm 1 year into arm wrestling, and that's what I explain to guys on a daily basis. Like, if you're thinking you're the best in North America, dude, you have a far ways to go.
Yeah.
Like, and
I
I just heard that and I thought it was a bit of fun and games. I'm like, you come to my club and the clubs around here, most of the guys explain it like you are. I don't think there's anything special. I think it's going to be a very close match. Derek should win. I don't know if he will win.
Yeah, I'm very similar, and again, it's like maybe a little bit of bias now. I think I had him more favored before, but I had a love-hate relationship with Derek. I've subscribed and unsubscribed and subscribed and unsubscribed and subscribed like many times on his channel. So, because I've super chatted him and then he doesn't like it, so he won't say it in his chat, and I take offense to it. So then I get pissed off and I unsubscribe, right? And then he'll be nice, and you know what I mean? And then I'll subscribe, and then he'll do something again, like not read my super chat or something, and then I'll unsubscribe. So yeah, it's kind of went back and forth with me and Derek. So, but yeah, he should win. But you know what? I'm rooting for Saray.
Eddie Hall versus Big OB, Robert Oberst. Yes. They've had some history with their overhead presses and stuff in the past.
That's the match that I wanted to talk about, actually, believe it or not. So listen, people don't, because they're not following. I imagine Eddie's heavy. I love Eddie Hall too, don't get me wrong. But I imagine everyone's thinking Eddie's going to crush Robert. But they don't realize, so it was about 7 months ago, he ended up joining Alan Fisher's gym. And he's been training with Alan Fisher and all those boys. And there's a lot of guys over there, right? I think, where is that? North Dakota? Anyway.
I'm not exactly sure where.
They're training he's training with beasts over there, right? Like really good arm wrestlers. And Robert apparently has been going to practice every week. And I watched the first practice where Alan Fisher was teaching him and stuff like that. And if he's had 7 months with Alan Fisher, I think Eddie might still win, but it's not going to be no blowout like people might think. Robert his hand is big. It's bigger than I thought too. I didn't realize how long it was. It's got like 10 inch from palm to fingertip. Like it's impressive. So like, yeah. And he's got a good hand. He's got a good top roll. He's got a natural top roll to him. Really good pronation. So I think it's going to be a really good match. I think that might be, and with Eddie shit talking that, I think that might be one of the funnest matches of the night.
Big OB can shit talk like crazy too.
Yeah, I agree.
I remember some Giants live shows that him and Eddie were at together, and that was some pretty crazy stuff.
No, I agree. I'm looking forward. That match is going to be cool, and that's a true strongman super match too. Another one, right? So. And it's not really a freak show either. It's actually Eddie's gotten really good training with Neil Pickup. He's getting really fluid. His hit's getting lightning. Eddie's got fast twitch muscles, like really good fast twitch muscles. And Robert's hand's really good. So I think the match could be really, really, really good. I truly do.
Yep. Next one is Lawrence Chalet versus Martin Lisis. For those that don't know Martin Lisis or don't follow him on his channel, go check out Martin Lisis on YouTube and follow him if you can afford it. Pay his subscription or whatever he has. He has the Strength Unknown, and he takes all across the world. He's doing videos and just promoting sports of strength from all across the world. A lot of the stuff he shows is stuff I've never seen before, but there's people doing stuff that we don't see because they're not on social media and stuff, but these people are athletes and they do incredible feats of strength. And he also shows just he puts a story behind what the people are doing. Like really? Even in his video that he just did with arm wrestling, the first couple minutes are him talking about where arm wrestling started and stuff. And I think we need a lot of that. And so if you're into any kind of strength sport, go check out Strength Unknown on Martin Lisis' channel. And he gives incredible background to why people do certain things and how technique can increase your strength drastically. And then Lawrence Chalet, obviously, he's been in the world of strength for many years, first as a lifter himself and then as a commentator nowadays.
Well, I mean, this is another strongman matchup.
Yes.
Lawrence, Europe. I think he was the 7-time European strongest man. He's had world records. He had the farmers carry world record. He had a lot of different world records.
Yep.
And he was actually one of the more technical, because he never really had the static strength the other guys had. With the like the farmers and stuff, he was really good, but the static strength was never as high as the other guys. But he still managed to do really well all the time. And Martins, well, he's actually a perfectionist. He's actually really lazy, doesn't like training, but he forces himself to. Like, I've watched him for the years, and he says it. He goes, I just do it. I don't like it, but I do it, right? Because he loves strength, right? He's won World's Strongest Man. I think it was 2015.
2019 or 2020.
Oh yeah, it was later. Yeah. Yeah, it was after.
It was after Eddie and Thor.
Yeah, that's right. And he was World's Strongest Man. But I do think Lawrence has been pulling a while now, and he's getting to a point where he's grasping it well. And I was seeing him at the Iron House, or one of those ones, and he was doing good. I know he lost to him. Was it Rob Frampton? What was his name? Rob Frampton?
Yes, Rob Frampton.
He lost to him, but then he pulled him later on, and he was pinning him actually quite easy. So he's really improved, and I love Martin, or whatever his name is. What's his name again?
Martin Sleazy's.
Yeah, that's it. I'm bad with names, guys. Sorry, but anyway, I love that guy. But I think Lawrence should be able to handle him because of how long he's been doing it now. I think he's about 3 years in, 2.5 years, 3 years,
yep.
About as long as me. So I think I would like a super match with Lawrence. I think that would be really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's an incredible guy as well and stuff.
Yeah, but I do got a big loss winning. But I think you don't know though. We don't know. I don't know where Martins is. Like he could be. It's interesting. I'm very curious. I got big loss to win, but I don't really have a favorite. I like both guys. They're great people. Both of them are great, and they do lots for the strength community. And like you said, I mean, if Martins starts doing stuff for arm wrestling, man, that'd be amazing. Like I watched all the one where he went way up in the mountains and he almost died. He couldn't get his oxygen level up, and then he had to go up there and lift these big stones. It was a stone carry thing. It was cool, man. It was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, some of the stuff he promotes on that Strength Unknown channel.
It's crazy.
People need to watch it. Like I've been a huge strength fan from Strongman and stuff for years. And he puts stuff out there incredible. He makes it very interesting to watch and educational.
Yeah, he gives a whole history, a breakdown, everything.
Yep.
He's got the best, like documentary format, kind of is the best. I think I think he does the best in the game. Yeah.
Oh, by far.
I agree.
By far.
Yeah.
One last match that I know of, anyways, and that's Gabriela Vasconcelos versus Jocelyn Brisson. Gabriela out of Brazil, and then Jocelyn out of Ontario, Canada.
Yep. Yeah. Nathan's girlfriend. Yeah.
I think so, yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And she's an awesome person, you know. You know what? I think a lot of people are looking at her match with Egla and saying that Gabby's going to crush her. Now, what I'm going to take away from that is Gabby, she did beat Egla finally. I think she beat Egla last year. Never won before to Egla, right? But I think she just knows how Egla pulls, and with her strength was able to finally beat her. I don't think it's going to be the same. Gabby is going to pull in a way that I think it will go into Jocelyn's strength, and I think it's going to be a close match. I really do. And I give Gabby an edge because, you know, she was former number one in the world for a few years. And but I think that Jocelyn's top end horsepower with Gabby's pulling style, Jocelyn's got a chance. So I got it like 55-45 Gabby because of experience and because it's Gabby. But I think Jocelyn's strength is pretty crazy. And is Gabby going to be able to disable her hand like Egla did? See, Egla took away Jocelyn's strength. So Jocelyn could never really show her strength against Egla. I think against Gabby she will. So I think the match could be really, really good. I really do. I think it's going to be close. For some reason, I think it's going to be a banger of a match.
I sure hope so. I sure hope that Jocelyn can figure out the setup in the match. I know she's really good, getting really strong and stuff, and it's fine and everything to be technical in practice, but to learn to be that when the refs are actually there, when people are watching you, and to have all that pressure on you in that minute is like super crucial, because any little movement makes a huge difference. And I definitely want her to take the win home for Canada, and that'll be awesome.
Yes. Oh yeah, I'm rooting for her. Yeah, I'm rooting for her. But I mean, like I try to give, I give two outcomes sometimes. Sometimes I'll give my biased outcome, and then I'll give my, non-biased, just looking at it professionally, who I think is going to win, right? So, yeah, no, that's going to be good, man. I think it's a good card. I think people are, I know there's a lot of complaints about Europeans not being there and stuff. There's Europeans there. There's quite a few, actually. You know what I mean? It's just not
Eddie, Alex.
Yeah, exactly. Even
Lawrence Chalet.
Yeah, they're all. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. And I
Philip
think,
Larson.
Yeah, Philip Larson. There you go. He's from Sweden, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's going to be an amazing card, and I think the opportunities, like how anybody, like I'm going to be a little controversial. How anybody could be controversial about it, or even be negative towards it, when it gives us a chance as arm wrestlers to have the strongman community is huge, man. Like, and it's taken them a long time to get there, right? Like they're kind of like, we're fringe, kind of like arm wrestling, but they've done it. They've done it in a lot of ways where they broke through, and to get an opportunity to bring in that set of fans and bring over that community is huge for arm wrestling. And I mean, if anybody wants to hurt that or destroy that, I think that they're, they got something wrong with them. This is a big opportunity, and I think it's going to be amazing. And I think, we don't even know where it's going to go. Like we got strong men and strong women from all over. Like that Titan House release. Did you watch that today?
No, I haven't yet. I haven't had time.
Oh, okay. Well, he brought in all the world's strongest ladies, right? And some of the, strong men too. Mark Felix was in there.
Mark Felix, incredible man. That guy with his age and stuff, like his Hercules hold is out of this world.
Yeah, I know. His hands are just massive.
Yeah,
massive. So all I can say is I'm pumped, and I'm so happy. And there's nothing you can do to make me be negative at all towards this. This is a great opportunity, and really we need to be good fans and get on board and support this 100%.
Yes, can't agree more. Thank you so much for coming on, Brian. It's been a blast. If you guys want to hear more of Brian, go check out Through the Fingers podcast. And then also tomorrow, I believe Brian will be on the Can-Am podcast with Jody Williams, and also, our president of arm wrestling.
Jody Williams, Nathan, I forget his last name. And
Ryan Espy.
It will be Wednesday morning now. Yeah, they
Wednesday morning.
Yeah, they canceled tomorrow. Ryan messaged me and said, "Is Wednesday morning good?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Why not?" They're good guys. So
sounds good. Yeah, they're a great group of guys. Go check them out, guys. Yeah. Go check out Through the Fingers podcast. Always stay tuned. I'm pretty sure Brian is definitely live every Tuesday evening.
Oh yeah, every Tuesday.
And yeah, thanks so much for coming on. It was great talking to you. Definitely have you on again and get to know you more and hear your thoughts about everything.
Yeah, we'll get you on our pod too. So sounds good. And I like this. I love this format. Keep doing it, brother. And you need any help at all, you know how to get a hold of me. I'll help you in every way I can. So
thank you so much for the support.
Okay. Bam. Hey guys. Have a good night.
See you.